What's up? Johnny Mac here. So, today on episode 1 of Rock Bottom REI, we got special guest Chino from Las Vegas. He is out there helping vets, homeless people, going into the tunnels in Las Vegas. So, if you're out in Las Vegas, you definitely want to connect with Chino, but it was an honor to interview him. So, enjoy. Let's go. All right, what is up? Johnny Mac here. Rock Bottom REI. I got my boy Chino here live.
What's
What's
up,
up,
guys?
Chino? Yeah.
How you doing,
Yeah,
brother?
good man. You and I, we got to connect last week in California, and I just, talking to you, I just seen your passion and your heart, man, and thank you for coming on and just chopping it up a little bit.
Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate you so much for doing this to bring awareness to our fellow investors.
Heck yeah, man. So, real fast, just give the audience like what's like a quick snapshot of who you are and what you do if someone doesn't know you. You're famous and stuff
Sure.
too, but yeah.
Well, my name is Chino Mante, and I'm here in Las Vegas. What I do here is I help house the less fortunate, especially our homeless veterans.
Okay. How about like Chino? What do you like that's your main focus? You're helping homeless veterans? Like, have you always done that? Like, where did you like what made you want to get into that? Why are you doing that? Can you elaborate on those type of things?
Sure. Um, it was a rather easy decision because I was once homeless myself.
Hmm.
So talking about hitting rock bottom, at a very young age, I was homeless, around 17 years old. So I had just gotten here a year and a half prior from the Philippines, didn't know English, and then I wanted to join the Army, and my mom stopped me because I was a minor, or she didn't approve of it, so I didn't join. But shortly after, I became homeless in San Jose, California. My family still doesn't know. If they're watching this now they know. It was for me, I was fortunate to be homeless there than here in Vegas. So I got out of it. I was homeless for about 2.5 years, and then moved here in Vegas in 2002, and that's when I saw a huge need that somebody should do something about this because
Hmm.
they have it here. They have it the worst here in Vegas because of the weather, and but I couldn't do anything because I was young and broke. That's what motivated me.
Got it. Yeah, I find like when we've walked, down the path and we're able to get out of that and walk up from it from rock bottom. It's I know myself and others, like we tend to have a compassion for others that are in that same situation because right, like when you were homeless, Chino, would you agree that you had like a hopeless feeling inside of you, like how the heck am I going to get through this at times?
1,000% all the time.
Yeah.
Especially because I wasn't very fluent in English yet, and it was a rough journey, nonetheless. To say nonetheless.
Yeah. So now, you're out on the other side, you're going back and you're reaching down and helping people out. Bro, I saw you the other day on Instagram. You were walking into the tunnels with like a crew of people. Tell us about that. Like
Yes,
the tunnels is like underneath like an overpass, right? That's where the storm drainage goes through and people live down there,
that is
homeless
correct.
people. Yeah.
Yep, that is correct. So I host Vegas Power Hour here in Las Vegas. We just reached our 2-year anniversary. However, I've dedicated every last Saturday of the month to go into the tunnels, but I don't go in there by myself. I take my friends with me that go to Vegas for an hour to show them, like, hey, there's another life, right? There's a city under the city.
Hmm.
So let's go out there and serve them and help as many people as we can, right? If they don't want the help right now, at least be friends with them. Show them that they matter. Show them that we see them, that we know, that we care, that we're here. So we go into the tunnels, we give them care packs, right? That could be like a sandwich, bottled water, socks, feminine products, whatever it may be that they need, including dog food, cat food, right? We hand those out.
Wow, bro. Yo, the people that go with you, is some of them like their first time to see that type of environment? Like, what's their reaction? Are they like, holy freaking crap?
Yeah, so it's not just like into the tunnel. So today's what, July 2nd? July 2nd, 2025. Last Friday, we flew back in from Owners Club Immersion Retreat in Monterey. And there's two Owners Club members that had a 5 hour layover in Vegas. And that was Jew and Corinne. And so they wanted to join, right? They wanted to see how I serve and my team, right? How we serve the less fortunate. So it's not just going to the tunnels. I've been packing sandwiches and handing them out with bottled water since 2017 by myself. I just opened that up last year, early last year, around January, to investors to encourage them to bring their kids. And the reason being is because I would want our kids to know what it's like to give, right? What it's like to have an abundance mindset. Like, hey, we have this much money, let's give back to the community, right? So I took them with me. Jew packed and Corinne packed sandwiches. We had to take Jew to the airport because he had to catch a flight. But Corinne went out with us and she saw it firsthand, right? She got to talk to some of the people in the streets, a lady with a dog, a gentleman on a wheelchair. Like she got to experience it, right? So for a lot of our friends that have never experienced that or be that close, to somebody, and call them the less fortunate because I don't want to call them homeless because I've seen people with family. At one time, when I took my friends with me, I saw a family coming out of a tent, but the very first person that came out of the tent was a young kid. It was a little boy. And then his sister came out, and then the parents came out while we were handing out sandwiches, right? And I couldn't help it, but I got emotional, and I tried to hide my tears. And the dad, I guess, like picked up on that, right? And he tapped on my shoulder, on my shoulder, and said, "It's okay. We're home together." So
Hmm.
that right there clicked in my brain, like they're not homeless because they're together. That's their home. So I call them
Yeah,
the less fortunate
the
because
less
they are a
fortunate.
little bit less fortunate than I am or than most. Yeah, exactly. Than most of us.
Wow.
So yes, it is an eye-opening experience, yeah, for our friends, especially if they've never experienced something like it before.
Jeez, man. Yeah, I know Joe. He's from my area in Philadelphia. Yeah. Wow. Unreal, man. So, like, when you
Yeah.
started to tell us about your climb out, like, what changed when you were home, like, where when you were less fortunate. I love that phrase because you know when you have your loved ones around you, your home is your loved ones. That's a different perspective to look at it. Like less fortunate. Like that father said that
Right.
he's there with his family. So what did your path look like coming out of the rock bottom scenario in your life? Did someone help you?
It
Did you
was my
just like
sister.
your
Yeah,
sister? Okay.
it was my sister. So either she called me or she texted me, and she said, "Hey, we're moving to Vegas. Would you like to start fresh?" And I said, "You know what? I think I would like to start fresh." So I decided to move here with them. I got myself like an $8 an hour job. It was a temp. Oh, that was the beginning of that journey, bro. So I'm not I'm not religious myself. However, I have a very strong bond and relationship with God. So yeah, I treat him like one of the homies, right? And when I got here to Vegas and I found myself a job, $8 an hour, working at a warehouse, I asked for a blessing. I don't like asking for anything, so I asked for my first blessing, which was my Mazda 3 car, my blue Mazda 3, because that's what I saw on commercial TV. I said, "Yo, if you could bless me, with that car, I promise you, I will help somebody out that's stuck on the side of the road."
Hmm.
So I did that for years because that's all I could afford. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't making that much money, but I was given that gift. I was blessed with that car. Therefore, I would go around town. I would drive around the freeway. I would see people, be stuck on the side of the road. I would help them out, right?
Wow.
And then later, yeah, and then later on, um, I asked for my second blessing. I said, "Could you? I think it's time for me to make more money. Could you please bless me with that? And I promise you, I will take care of your other kids." And so he did. He gave me a banquet serving job, a bartending slash server in banquets. And here in Vegas, when you're a banquet server, you make a ton of money, bro. Like
Hmm.
no joke money. You make six figures as a lazy banquet server, and not picking up that many shifts. You already make $100,000.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, just wiping tables, right? Just serving people that us when we go to conference, right? When we went to OC Owners Club, um, that right there, that we had some banquet servers cleaning after us. That was them. So that's what
Got
I
it.
did here, right? So I was blessed with that job, and so that's when I started packing sandwiches. And I would do that by myself for years since 2017, right? And then open it up just last year, early last year, because Pace told me to get more people involved. So shout out
Heck
to
yeah.
Pace.
No, bro, that's awesome, and I'm glad that you listened to him because it's inspiring to see somebody and to hear your story. It makes me want to go out and work with people in my community, because I'm in the Philadelphia region. So that's something I plan on doing, and I like that idea. Um, because when we have our rock bottom moments, for us to not go back and to encourage somebody else in that situation, to me, it's a waste of going through those hard times. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, so you came out of it, and then you start you start giving back. You said who was in the military in your family, or you were going to join the
No one.
military? No one. Okay, so
I was
why
trying. No one.
no one?
Well,
But why
let me
why
take that back.
vets
I
then?
have. So hold on. Let me take it back. I do have some uncles that are in the Navy and Air Force, but my
Okay.
immediate family, no one. None of my immediate family, none of my parents are in the military. So my mom's cousin, yeah, like those are my uncles, right? My mom's cousins. They're in the Air Force and Navy, but other than that, nobody.
Okay, so why? I mean, obviously vets fight for our freedom, that we have, and they allow us to live in this amazing country. But like, why for you, Chino, did you that you have this passion for vets?
Okay, so for the record, like my team and I, we help anyone and everyone. However, in my personal opinion, veterans have it the worst. And the reason why is because when they get out of the service, they are given a pamphlet or a list of to-do lists of where to go and what to do and all the things. One thing about being homeless, brother, the very first thing that you lose is your family. You either abandon them, they abandon you, or they die on you. With our veterans, when they get out of the service, they get pulled out of their family. It doesn't matter if they've been discharged, honorable discharge, dishonorable, or other than honorable. It doesn't matter. Their unit is now their family. That makes sense?
Yeah, yes. And then they're discharged and they're pulled out of their family, you're saying.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Now they're now they have PTSD, they have all this trauma, and then they miss their family, right? And then on top of that, they're given a to-do list. Yes, are there any resources? The answer is yes. However, the resources that they have, they're spread out. They're not all in one building, right? So when you're homeless, first you gotta find food, right? You gotta find a restroom. You gotta find shelter. How are you gonna do all that when you're a veteran? You're put somewhere that you don't know anybody.
Jeez, bro. Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. That's why.
Got it. That makes sense, man. And I never thought about the perspective that the men and women that vets serve with, and then they're discharged, like you said, honorably or not, and now they're pulled away from their family. They're coming back into society, and then you add the part of being homeless on top of that. It just adds layers and layers of yeah, I couldn't even imagine, man. So that makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So one of my questions was, who are you fighting for when no one's watching? It sounds like it's vets, right? That would be the answer to that question? When no one's watching, who are you fighting for? I mean, when you were handing out sandwiches, no one was watching. You weren't on social media. You weren't even in Subto community because Subto community didn't exist. But yet you're out there handing out sandwiches and giving to the less fortunate.
It's for the people that could not make it inside the shelters. Those are the people that I'm fighting for. It's for the people that are homeless single moms. It's for the homeless single dads. It's for domestic violence victims. It's for anyone who needed somebody when thing was upside down, when everything was upside down for them. It's for them.
Got it, man. That's deep, bro. So, being an owners club, we have that Mount Everest. So, what is your Mount Everest? That you have today before you, and how far along are you on that journey? And what does it look like, today compared to maybe a couple of years from now? What's your big visions? Like Tim's story said, something so big, only, it'll take an intervention from like God to accomplish.
That's correct. So if you go on my social media, to anyone who's watching this, Chino Mante, Chino, last name Mante, on both my Instagram and Facebook. It's pinned on there. It has Pace Morby's face, right? Talking about me getting another house using creative finance. I put it on there as my Mount Everest. I didn't know it was a Mount Everest, but I did. My caption was, because of him, because of Pace, I am now able to tackle homelessness issue nationwide along with my newfound family. That's my Mount Everest. And where am I at right now in the matter? So I went public back in October last year. That's when I announced the things that I've been doing in front of the government, in front of a lot of big organizations, because I went to a conference and all they discussed was just problems, issues about homelessness, but not a single person talked about solutions. So I provided, when it came to Q&A, open mic, I was the third person to speak, and I was the only person that brought solutions, which was the four stages of housing, right? That could be another episode for another time. But to fast forward, today, right? Even like in less than 6 months, we have accomplished so much that now, including the Attorney General's office, requested a meeting with me to sit down to try to figure out how we could house 8,000 registered homeless individuals in the Valley of Las Vegas.
Wow.
And then this year, we have created more things for our people, solutions, right? Like, for instance, affiliates of medical facilities. Why is that important? Because it's not just housing. Our people are going to need mental, behavioral help, right? Depression type of counseling, right? Anything that that they need, we now have that to provide through our affiliates. But we are projecting to create our own medical facility this year, as well as we're branching out to Oregon and simultaneously do it in California as well. So that's how, in a matter of, like, I don't know, it's October, that's where we're at right now.
Heck yeah, bro. Jeez. Yeah, you and I were talking about the framework and stuff, so I'm looking forward to bringing that further over here on the East Coast. I mean, that same
Yep.
model, like, you sounds like you got the framework and that you have people listening, and then you're doing it. You're taking action. Like, I
Yep.
personally, like, I'm a fire starter. Like, I don't like to sit here and talk about this and talk about that. I'd rather just go out there, do it, fall on my face, learn along the way, man. That's the way to do
Correct.
it.
Yep.
Heck yeah, bro. So tell us about your this gentleman you were helping today. We had to do this late. Can you share anything about that? Like, give us a real, like, inside picture what a day as Chino, out there, with your mission, and your vision. What's that look like?
So I'm not gonna bring up his name, but he's a veteran, and he's dealing with PTSD, as most of us already know this, but as well as depression, right? Um, Depression leads to suicidal thoughts, and he's mentioned it to me, multiple times that he's been wanting to kill himself, right? So every time I get a text, from a veteran, right, or for another veteran, I always clear my schedule and then go meet them. Why? Because even though I never served our country, I was also going through suicidal thoughts, and I'm I'm blessed that there was somebody there for me that I did not know that I needed, right? So
Mm.
it just so happened that somebody showed up for me without even asking. And I want to be that person, for our veterans. I want to be that person for anybody, who's going through tough times, especially when they're alone with their thoughts. Because I know what that's like. It's a scary
Mm.
place to be in.
Heck yeah, man. So, were you able to kind of, figuratively speaking, talk that gentleman off the ledge and encourage him to keep going? You break. I'm losing you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
now.
So, okay, perfect. So, this July 5th, right, 3 days from now, he's coming home to us.
What's that look like? What do you mean coming home to you?
So that means he will no longer stay at this organization that's sheltering him, right? He will be home in a regular house
Nice.
and have a family again.
Dang, man. Now, is that one of your a property that you own that you've turned into like, you know, a house for vets? Is that what that is?
That's correct.
Nice.
So my partners and I, we own multiple properties across the valley. This one in particular, specifically, I own this by myself. He is going home to one of our sober living homes, and that's his choice. By the way, I did not impose that on him. He's the one that told me, like, hey, you know, I think I need to be in a sober living home, not in a independent living home. And I told him, like, bro, whatever you want, I'm here. If you think that, you know, you're better off in a, he goes, well, the thing is, like, you know that I drink, and I think it's about time, you know, that I turn my life around and just be sober.
Wow. Bro, that's
Yeah.
a that, you know, me coming from, you know, an addictive background, when somebody has that type of clarity, it's like our eyes open and we realize, man, I'm in the pig field in the slums, and you kind of have that moment where you start turning back and you start walking back, you know, out of that. So that's amazing, bro, that you're able to encourage somebody and just be a part of that, man. Like that is we need more of Chinos in the world, bro. Reaching down and encouraging people, man, when in the times that they need it. Did I lose you? You froze.
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, you froze a minute. I was just saying we need more Chinos, man, in every freaking state, in every major city, you know, to reach down and encourage people. But did I lose you a minute?
I think I may have lost you, bro.
Okay, can you hear me now, though?
Hello?
Yeah.
There you are. There you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I said we need more Chinos. We need Chinos in every single city, man, to reach down and to encourage people at their lowest point. So, heck yeah.
I think, bro, you know that I'm going to take this nationwide, right? So
Yeah,
it's
you were
only a
saying
matter of
that.
time that I'm going to be in the Philly area. Yeah, that's my Mount Everest, is to take this nationwide, right? To eradicate homelessness nationwide. Why? Because why not? If not me, who's going to do it?
That's right. Heck yeah, bro. Well, when you're ready, when the time arises, you always tell me I'm already there. You know, I'm ready over here in Philly, bro. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm willing and able. So appreciate you, Chino.
Let's do it.
All right, brother.
Thank you, bro.
Hey,
Thank you so much for having me here.
yo, thank you, man. And I'm looking forward to help change people's lives and encourage people to walk out of that rock bottom situation they're in, man. And yo, I'm very proud of you, bro. And you inspire me, like I said, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
I'll put
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put the links in the video so people can connect with you and reach out. And if you're in Vegas, go to the Power Hour. When does that happen? What is it? Every Saturday?
Every Saturday. Yeah, every Saturday of the month. Yeah.
Got it. And the
Except for every last
Saturday,
Saturday.
you do sandwiches the fourth Saturday, right? All right, cool. All right, brother. Appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
All right, later.